Hi guys. All right, so we're starting our last packet here, which is all about slope and graphing. So hopefully you remember some of this from algebra last year. The beginning part, we're going to really just talk about some review of plotting points. So I'm going to start you guys on page 1 and just refresh your memory a little bit about how to do these types of problems. So this is the slope and graphing packet that you can find on Schoology. Just want to upload it into Notability or print it if you can. And so let's remember when we're graphing and plotting points, right? One of the most important things to remember is that it's always the x coordinate first and then the y coordinate, right? And if we're looking at our grid, remember the one across here going horizontal, that's always our x coordinate or x-axis, and our vertical one is always y. Okay, and so if it wants the coordinates for this one of point V, well, here's point V. So I go down to see what its x coordinate is first. So its x coordinate is 2, and then I go to see what its y coordinate is, and its y coordinate is 6. So it's always the x coordinate first, and then the y coordinate, okay? Be careful, there's some that might be decimals, and always be careful with the 0 ones. But that's your refresher. You know x always goes first, then y. You guys should be able to finish question number 1. You should also be able to do question number 2, okay, with no problem. The important part here, it says plot and label. So I'll do the first one for you. Point A is at 5, 2. So remember, I always do x first, so that's 5. So I go over here to 5, and then my y is second, and that's up at 2. So 5, 2, that's where I plot my point, but then I have to label it. Label means give it a name. So its name is point A, so I just call it A. All right, then you guys can go ahead and finish these ones, and then you can check your work. And then on page 2, same idea for this part, okay? You should be able to do number 3, no problem. You do that one. And then you should also be able to do part 4. Let me just remind you about a couple things in part 4. It's going to talk about quadrants, right? And so if you remember this, with the way we divide it up, so we divide it into 4 sections. So this first section in the upper right here, that is going to be quadrant 1. That's where we start. And then we go to the left. So our next quadrant, I'll do this one in pink, would be this second quadrant here, this whole section. And we call that one quadrant 2. And we use Roman numerals for these, so no, I'm using the number 2 like that. And we keep going this way. So my next one here would be, I'll go in blue, this quadrant down here. That is quadrant 3. And then we keep going this way around the circle. And my last quadrant will be this one over here at the bottom right. And that one is called, if you remember, it's the last one. So it's quadrant 4. Do you remember how to do a 4 in Roman numerals? It's like that 1V. Okay, so if it asks you questions about quadrant 2, right, or which quadrant, okay, you're going to know those. Another word to review is the word origin. So if you remember, the origin is the spot right here in the middle, and that's always at 0, 0. That's our origin. The rest of these you should be able to figure out. Okay, so that's what you're going to finish. This is page 2. That's all you're doing today is pages 1 and 2, and then you will submit on Schoology for Thursday, May 14th, where it says turn in pages 1 and 2 when you're done. Good luck.